If we want to beat climate change, we need to understand the concept of giving back. Why? Because we've taken too much. Don't worry, it's not as tough as it sounds. I'm pretty confident because I believe that it's something that you do on a daily basis that sustains this planet. You probably don't have a word for it, but it exists regardless of your knowledge of it. I've called it Replenish. Because every time you give back more than you're taking, you are, in fact, replenishing. So let's give back more than we're taking and replenish planet Earth. Our challenge today is not to sustain the status quo. It is a unique opportunity to be able to measure what we give back to nature. And this has never been done before. Never in our history have we ever managed to capture the good that we've done as an expectation that Earth has of us. For that measure, which I'll come back to later, I'd like to give you some thoughts of mine on how we're going to do it. And first, I'd like to talk to you about investing. It's like the 101 of investing in the environment. Check this out. So first off, we invest in our education. When we're growing up, we invest in our education, we invest in our lifestyle, but most importantly, we're investing in our future. And everything that we do relates to this future that we've managed to create by everything that we spent money on. But how do we best invest in a future which beats climate change? I believe that this investment that we make on a daily basis is dependent on where you spend your money. Because I believe it creates a system that we can choose. And that's a system that we are part of, that we've created up until now. The fact is that it has become a democratic system that we've wanted. No snowflake in an avalanche ever feels responsible. When I was diving for the very first time, I actually didn't know how to swim. And I was 25 years old, and my business partner had taken me to a beautiful location, and he said, you know what? If you want to learn how to swim, you've got to learn how to dive. It's an incredible world out there. And I remember after like the fourth or the fifth dive, when I finally let go of the instructor's hand, poor thing, he said, you know what? Just look over there. And there was this beautiful, just a moment that I felt, this beautiful school of fish just swimming around me. And I'm looking around thinking, you know, like I'm looking at you, you're looking at me, and I'm the center of attention for something completely different from a human being. They're looking at me and thinking, you're a funny fish. That was such a beautiful moment for me. And it's a beautiful moment that I wish and hope that my children will get to experience as well. I've realized the results of our past investments, the islands of waste floating in the Atlantic and the Pacific Ocean, the number of fish, the turtles, and the other creatures that don't digest my rubbish. Those were the days where I used to believe that everything that I bought, used, and wasted wouldn't have an impact on anything other than me. And I was naive in thinking that if I were to put a whole world of people consuming just like me, that we wouldn't have an impact on the environment the way that we have. When I was younger, I used to love my economics textbook, and I felt really clever when I could quote the first line. Economics is a study of the scarcity of resources. I used to feel really proud when I could quote this sentence that for me was the basis of an economic system that has created the world that we live in today. It's an incredible system because it teaches us what we've invested in up until now and our outcomes of this economic system today. But we have a completely new, incredible opportunity, and that is to be able to invest in a future that we choose. And here are my 3 strategies for that. There's a short-term strategy of investing in the circular economy. I believe that if we are to invest in production change that can systematically change our industrial process, it will lead us to changing our purchasing behavior. In order for us to purchase our behavior, we'll be buying items that create less waste. We'll be using technologies that support access versus ownership models like Zipcar, or use leverage asset models like Airbnb. I believe in a short term that we can achieve an economic system that can allow us to live a sustainable lifestyle. Midterm, let's look at zero carbon, zero waste cities. Cities where we can invest our time and our infrastructure on creating and fostering environments that sustain us. Look at the variety of apps that we have that will allow us to do that. In San Francisco, you have the Palo Alto 311 app that can engage citizens and give feedback to the government, which is there, in order for them to create a system that is viable for you. Look at Snips or Deep Light, which equally use our data and to map that into a city context on a macro scale to produce that individual level information to make those decisions about making our cities smarter. But I question you, what is a smart city if it's not its smart citizens? Don't wait until that moment that these smart gated communities are created. We make our smart city by our behavior. And finally, invest in the long term, and that is investing in nature. Support biodiversity. Create permaculture-type farming environments that are high-yielding, organic, sustainable, using less water. Our environment and health first, profit second. You know, I often wonder why it is that I don't feel so excited about living a sustainable lifestyle. And that's primarily because I don't feel that I'm being positively reinforced by it. Who likes to be told off? Your CO2 footprint? It's pretty bad. Oh my God, your water footprint? My God, it's the worst in the world. I don't really want to hear that. What I want to hear is a good that I've done. I want to hear about the things that I've done, and I think it's simple. Anything that we use nature to help design our world will equal no waste. I believe in an economic system that has global unity, like we have today, to make changes with speed on a macro level. And I believe that this, beauty that we have in cities and our opportunity to change them will give us an opportunity like no other. What does it take? Absolutely nothing. It's a very simple thing, because we've got the technology, we've got the cultural openness, and we've got the mindset. All we need now is a commitment, and a unified commitment at that. I'd like you to start now. I'd like you to tweet #Replenish to @2050city, because I'm going to send you an ebook that will outline what replenish means. And it will give us an opportunity to work together on something so beautiful, because this is the first time that we're going to create a metric to measure what we give back to nature. Be that snowflake that makes the avalanche a replenishing one. Thank you.